a collapsed lung. This is not just any old injury. This man somehow got back from a collapsed lung, getting ready for a playoff run here, beginning in a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it is, as the NBA season comes to an end, regular season on Sunday. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
Was I supposed to wear red today? Because you're both wearing red.
We didn't coordinate this either.
No, we didn't.
I don't know about that with you two.
We're just simpatico like that.
We're just locked in.
All right, I guess I'm not. I was.
You do look tanner. I will just point this out to everybody.
Goes.
He
Here
looks
she
tanner.
goes.
Look at him.
You do look tanner.
Thank you.
Bronzer?
I just shaved.
I just think you went to the beach.
I went to the beach wearing the 29 degrees in New York City.
I'm just saying.
I come in this morning and Courtney's like, "Wow, you look a lot tanner." And I'm like, "I sat next to you yesterday for 4 hours.
And I didn't notice it. So you did something different today. That's all I'm saying.
I shaved?
It looks good. Looks good.
Thank you.
Get the red memo next time.
You do look tanner.
Oh my God. I don't understand how that's possible.
The lighting.
Did you maybe spray your face with something that was an overnight tanning mist?
An overnight tanning mist? I think it was pretty clear. Go back on the podcast, listen to yesterday's show, that all of the this is interesting. When it's the two of you and me sitting here in the room, because Courtney's not, when Courtney fills in for Canty, she's normally not here.
Mm-hmm.
It really does become just destroy this guy over here. And the two of you,
I don't
you know,
think we're
Charlotte
destroying
Flair's
you.
coming in later.
Yes,
I think the two of you are the tag team champions of the world. And not Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss in terms of the great tag team that they have. No, it's Courtney and Smalls v. me.
Well, it's better than us saying, wow, you look really pale.
Yeah.
Why do we have to focus on my looks? Smalls, you especially. I am the most insecure person in the world when it comes to looks. Extra focus on them doesn't help me in life.
If you told me I looked really tan, I would be like, thank you.
That's a huge compliment.
What an amazing way to start a Thursday.
It's 6:03 a.m. You should be feeling
Especially at
great
6:03
about
a.m.
yourself.
But Courtney, there are accusations that I use performance enhancers.
Okay.
That's like saying to Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa during the heart of their run in the late 90s, early 2000s, you're a great home run hitter. Are you really saying that, or are you saying that there are PEDs to allegedly
I think
to
it's
do
a
that?
little different. A little different.
I don't think so.
You know, the scale of those things. We're saying you look good. We're saying you look fresh.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll take
Accept
it.
it, Evan.
Refresh.
Receive it.
What?
Accept it, receive it.
Yeah, no. So the Pistons did win last night. Am I like? I find this to be emotional. Is not the right word, obviously. I mean, I'm sure it was emotional for him, but like,
of course,
this is real. This is you have a collapsed lung. There's more of a God forbid. Luka and Austin Reeves are trying to fight their way back. Hamstring and oblique. Like, all right, if they get re-injured, that sucks. That's awful. We feel terrible for them. Their livelihood is not in danger. This guy came back from a point where his livelihood was in danger. Breathing is kind of important.
not just his livelihood, which is the money he earns, but his life, his
That's what I'm
quality of
saying,
life.
yeah.
Yes.
And it happened 3 weeks ago. This wasn't
Which feels
something
like
that
a quick
happened
turnaround,
like
right?
3 months ago.
Right.
3 weeks ago, middle of March, Shams was reporting at the time he was out indefinitely. So we all thought, is he going to have enough time to ramp up for the playoffs? Is he going to be putting himself in a position where he's got a couple days after the regular season ends, before the 18th, when the playoffs start? 3 weeks. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how lungs regenerate themselves or heal themselves that quickly, but my goodness, that to me, the timeline part of this, of how quickly he came back is...
So your mind went to the same place.
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
Like, awesome to be back, but are you sure about this?
Well, that's why they used him in those short stints last night, 26 minutes overall. I was interested to see the cadence in which they would use him last night, because you obviously want to get him back in the rhythm of playing, and especially the breathing, I'm sure, rhythm. That's different than anything else when you're running in spurts like that, explosive plays, explosive movements. So I think it's good for him and good for them that they do have a little bit of a ramp-up period for him to get back acclimated to playing at this level before the playoffs. But I, too, was a little surprised at the turnaround.
Yeah, and he has 2 games. They have 2 games left, the Detroit Pistons. They're 58-22. My guesstimation in Friday's game at Charlotte, Sunday's game at Indiana, they're the number 1 seed. It's locked in. My guesstimation is they want to win both of them because they want to get to 60. 60 feels like we did it, we got there, etc. But Cade Cunningham leads us into a whole different conversation. So he's played 61 games. 2 more is 63. They're going to petition the league. I think it's 61 to get to 63 if he plays the next 2, if I'm not mistaken. 62 to get to 64. Excuse me.
He'd be one shy of the
So he's going to be one shy of the 65-game threshold. Now, what does that mean? The league now has a mandated rule that in order to be eligible for postseason awards, you must play 65 games or more. Now, why is that important? Obviously, everyone would love to win an award or be a first, second, third team MVP. That's great. That's an honor, et cetera. It proves your work and it proves your value to your team. There also is a financial value because you are eligible. I don't want to get into all the details, but you're eligible long-term for more money the more times you are on first, second, third team or you're an MVP, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a financial part of it as well. And he is going to petition the league, just like Luka is, saying, hey, we should be eligible, et cetera. I don't know that they're going to win that. And Brian Windhorst, ESPN Senior NBA Insider Hoop Collective podcast, available wherever podcasts are found, was on PTI yesterday and gave this response as to whether or not the league is going to change anything with this 65-game rule.
I think the league likes the rule. I think it is functioning. There are moments with it that I think make the league look a little punitive here. Actually, one of the things that I've learned is I watch these players really stretch to get to this limit. They really like these awards. Whatever they want to say, their actions indicate they care about getting onto these lists and getting into these honors. And here's the thing: I'll just put forth Nikola Jokic. He has been sitting with a game to spare now for 5-6 weeks, and he has continued to play and continued to play. He can't say he doesn't care about awards either. But I also think that it just shows how many of games would he have maybe missed if he didn't have to hit that. The behavior of the star players indicates that this number means something. And yes, you can point to the players who may miss the award, a chance to get an award by a game or two. The league would privately point to, look how many players got it by a game or two, and look how many games they played, including national television games, which was the point of all this. So while it is unpopular, it is working, whether anybody wants to admit it publicly or not.
Quick follow-up from Wendy on that before we dive into it. Players like awards or players like money?
Money. Because the award is tied to money, like
right.
You just laid out with the future earnings that you can be eligible for. I don't think, of course, it'd be cool to say I have an MVP, I win 6th Man of the Year, I'm a part of the first team All-NBA, but when it's tied financially to your earnings eventually of what you can earn, that's way more important than any piece of hardware.
Guys, of course, want the cash, but listen to what Victor Wembanyama said about winning the MVP and how much it mattered to him because he is in pursuit of excellence.
And by the way, he has to play 20 minutes in one game because he's been banged up too. That's another interesting storyline, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Will he get it? I imagine he's going to go for it because of the way he's spoken about the MVP.
Right.
He looks at that as a measure of his growth and him keeping pace with the great ones in this league because he wants to be a great one. So I think it's definitely a combination of the two.
So the league's not going to change it. Is basically what Wendy's saying is people can complain. Luka can complain. I don't want to say complain. They file a complaint, right? Cade Cunningham can file a complaint or challenge it, etc. Joker has 64 games played. He's going to obviously surpass that. Wemby has 63, 64. So they did this to themselves, though, did they not? The players? League? No, the players. Well, they weren't playing.
These players. I don't think we can lump these players into the group that caused the NBA to put the 65-game rule in there in the first place.
Which players are you talking about then?
Guys in the past. I think that you can kind of pick a whole bunch who load managed their way into the NBA creating this legislation. Now, I think the rule works. I'm with Wendy on that. I think it's a good setup to be able to incentivize players playing the minimum amount that you need to qualify for the award. I do think that it works. I also think that Cade Cunningham, Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, if they don't meet that threshold of 65 games, there's now stipulation in the collective bargaining agreement with the extraordinary circumstances challenge that I think should be honored because it's very clear that these guys are trying to play. Cade Cunningham returned from a collapsed lung that happened 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He probably needs a little bit more time. Not that any of us have seen his scans or anything, but he probably would benefit from a little bit more time to ramp up, to get himself ready for when it really matters as the 1 seed in the postseason in the Eastern Conference. But very clearly, this award and all that it means, legacy and financially, means so much to him that he's rushing his way back to get it. So that should prove to the NBA that this wasn't somebody that fit into that category of why the rule needed to be created in the first place.
Right. Yeah, It's one of the most unrelatable to everyday life things that sports has. The money is the most unrelatable to everyday life. But like, hey, I don't want to go to work. All right, no problem. What? Like, think about every single person. Like, I'm not into it today. Okay, cool. Use your vacation days. Now I'm surpassing my vacation days. I'm gonna load manage for the big season in whatever company it is, right? Like, hey, we have the biggest time of year. Make up a date. Give me a date. Any date.
May 1st.
May 1st, the biggest time of year. I'm gonna take a few extra days off in April to get ready for that. But if you've surpassed your time off, like, it's allowed. This is the crazy thing. We don't see this in other sports. And I love the NBA. Smalls, you covered baseball more than any sport out there. 162 damn games.
So long.
It's so long.
Such a grind.
It's such a grind. And we have never heard about load management in baseball. We know pitchers take days off, but that's a physical
Guys
thing.
get a spell here and there, but not to this degree.
And and this is the other part that drives me nuts. Who load manages? There aren't as many people as you think, but it's become such a topic because we allow it so much that it's wild. And I would argue, no science here, because I'm not a doctor, as Courtney said. Are we sure that taking more time off doesn't get you more hurt?
There's been that argument made. I also think that this comes back to a period of time about 10 years ago, 2016, when the Golden State Warriors were in the midst of that 73-9 stretch. And I remember there were a couple games down the stretch of that season. I believe it was one in Memphis, where at that time, that point of Steph Curry's career, everyone, every single night, visiting arenas, home arena, are going to go watch him. And they're paying a lot of money to go see him. And there are the times where if he doesn't play, then all these people that gave their money, their hard-earned money to go watch a superstar, feel like, I gave that for what? That was 10 years ago.
Right.
And I still think that, the comparison...
I just hate, I'm sorry to interrupt, I hate that we're even talking about this. I hate that this great sport and this great league is marred by the most interesting comments coming out from last night or windy about the 65-game rule.
And Cade Cunningham talking about it too, and he didn't denounce the rule either. He was like, I understand the purpose of it.
Yeah, of course.
But the purpose of
we want people to go to work.
The purpose of it is serving something that was a big issue a decade ago that I don't think is as big of an issue as we make it in the NBA
because
today.
Because of the 65-game rule, because they had to.
So it works. It
right.
works.
Wendy is right. But then they got to deny Luka and they got to deny Cade.
No, I think the extraordinary circumstances challenge that is in the CBA, these guys are trying to play. Injuries, not load management, is costing them their potential opportunity to earn a postseason award.
Not showing up to work when it's mandatory becomes a big deal. What about not showing up to work when it's voluntary? We'll discuss that coming up after, by the way, if there are